goods on the platform. And then layered with that is that the advocacy is to provide with, an additional form of living for folks with income stream. And the other advocacy is going straight to the farm, so improving the agriculture. Yeah, direct selling.
I guess networking kasi, I believe, is a very powerful medium for selling because it's built on a trust-based. There's a trust-based element. There's a trust-based element to networking, diba? It's your friend selling to you. Ang pangit sa networking is kung kumikita ka based on membership rather than based on actually selling the products, diba? Tapos kung recruit ka lang na recruit, pangit dun.
So how does SariSuki simplify or help solve reduce the layers in the supply chain to reduce the price of cost?
Yeah, so when you look at the different categories of products, there are different types of supply chains.
Yeah.
So vegetables, let's take as the most extreme on one side, and on the other side would be your FMCG products, like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola doesn't have many layers in supply chain. So our central focus is really that more difficult side of the supply chain, so vegetables. It becomes the core. Ngayon, that creates the daily habit. But you can't create daily habit kung panay gulay lang binibenta mo. Kasi tayo, hindi naman gulay lagi na sa lamesa eh. May kanin, may itlog, may hotdog, may sardinas. Kaya kompleto. That's why we carry more than 5,000 SKUs to complete that basket. Going back to the supply chain. So vegetables being the core of our habit-forming behavior, the way we reduce it, we go direct to the farmers. We're setting up buying stations in Nueva Ecija, in Quezon, in Pangasinan. And there has not been, if you think about comparing it with what I used to do in Grab. Before Grab came in, Uber came in, there was no investment in the transport space in any significant way. When Grab and Uber came in, around $200, $300 million were put into that fund just to focus on transport. That's what we want to do with Agri. We can become the beacon in agri-tech here in the country. The investments will flow. MVP is already doing it.
Yeah, you know.
In a big way also. Yeah. But what he's building is more vertical greenhouses. What we're doing is more horizontal, helping the farmers. Kasi it needs to be a combination eh. Vertical cannot be the only thing that will supply Metro Manila. Metro Manila, I reckon, consumes around 1,000 metric tons of vegetables a day across the whole Metro Manila. And 1,000 metric tons of vegetables, you need maybe 10,000 hectares of land to produce Metro Manila's daily consumption. 10,000 hectares is a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot of land. So we're able to work directly with the farmers and not just reduce the layers of the supply chain, but improve the yield of the same hectarage by introducing technology, soil testing, proper fertilization, proper use of pesticides. The second is start tilling unharvested land because of lack of capital of the farmer. Then you're making that same finite hectare produce more at a cheaper price. That's how you ultimately reduce the cost. Kasi if you're just reducing the layers of the supply chain, nagmamajong ka lang ng margin eh. Pangit yun, wala kang value create. Pag napaganda natin at napadami natin yung tubo sa parehong lupa, that's value creation.
Yeah, two questions. One, what you described, correct ka, no? My MVP is already doing that in a larger scale. One in Laguna and the other in Bulacan. They launched that recently. And another question is, when you say value creation and reducing the number of the layers in the supply chain, parang ano ba to, farm to table, you know?
Farm to table has been used for the last 20 years. It's very, it's overused. It's like saying unbanked. If I were gonna be the bank for the unbanked, it's so overused. So, in a way, yes, but I don't want to use that because sa totoo lang, ang hirap ng farm to table. Siyempre may logistics ka pa, hindi naman tumutubo yung gulay mo sa backyard. Yung backyard yung farm to table yan. Pero kung tumutubo sa Benguet, paano mo pa farm to table yan? Hindi mo lang pwede dalit. May maghuhugas pa yan, may mag-ano pa yan. But wastage is very high if the supply chain is not organized well. So what you want is farm level packaging, farm level knowledge on how to prepare and how to preserve the vegetables. So when it's loaded in the truck, right away, bababa na siya dito. Whether it's a retail store or direct to the consumer, ano na yun? That's depending on the local situation. But at the farm, yun mas controllable yun eh. Kasi your sources are more contiguous, more concentrated. If you're able to do that and reduce wastage, which is right now at 30 to 50%, everything that's planted, 30 to 50% of that, tapon yan. So if you're able to reduce that even further, then that's another layer of value creation. When we started this, it was about cutting the middlemen, honestly, when we started this. As we got deeper into it, it became more than that eh. Parang we realized, okay, sige, so instead of babagsak sa balintawak, babagsak sa atin, eh ganun din eh. Balintawak, hindi naman malaki kinikita ng tao sa balintawak, 5 pesos, 10 pesos na kinikita. You reduce that enough, okay, maybe, but it's not creating a long-term solution.
Yung introduction ng technology, does that include digital technology? Kasi ang problem, isa sa pinakamalaking problema ngayon, sorry, I know, correct me if I'm right or if I'm wrong, ang SariSuki is not just about agri product now. So, thank you. But I'm sorry if I have to focus on agriculture kasi yung pinakaling problema natin. Isa sa problema ng agri-sector natin is data. Walang data ang LGU, walang data ang national government. So, yung produce ng Benguet, sobra-sobra pala, pero bakit kulang sa Maynila? Diba? Maraming pala rito sa Luzon ng nasa Mindanao ng onions, bakit nakakita sa Maynila? Kasi walang data. We don't have a data on volume of production, volume of consumption, volume of importation. So, kasama ba yun yung volume? Timing, and yung agriculture mapping, product mapping. So, kasama ba yun sa technology yung ini-introduce mo?
That's less of technology and more discipline in data gathering. The technology becomes a database and becomes a repository where that's connected. Our dream is to be able to have a production schedule for the country. So the demand side, like Vikings, pare-pareho naman sinaserve nila dyan sa labas. Hindi naman nagbabago yan everyday. So more or less, alam ni Vikings, may demand schedule si Vikings. Kung ma-match natin yung production and demand schedule, you'll see the fluctuations start to decrease. Wala kang hindi ka magkakaroon ng severe oversupply of onions, severe oversupply of tomatoes, severe undersupply of onions. That's the hope. But technology can only be a repository for the data. The data needs to still come from the ground, and that's just applying the smart processes and discipline, taking out corruption in the government. I'm sorry to say this, but there is corruption even across the layers of the government. Kasi, imagine mo, meron kaming meeting, hindi ko nasasabihin anong province. Mismong province na nagsasabi doon sa mga municipal agriculturists, give us the data. Ayaw ibigay, wala raw yung data. Anong kalokohan yun? Hindi naman pwede yun. Municipal agriculturalist mo, wala kang data sa municipality mo. Dapat masisante ka, dapat patanggalan ka ng trabaho. Kalokohan yun. Paano mo matutulungan yung farmers mo kung wala kang data? You're right, that's where it starts. But we can't do it as a private sector. We need to work with the government. And they need to clean up their house. And be able to provide that data, which is national data, and allow companies like us to apply the tech that we have, the processes that we have, on top of that data para umusbong na. Kasi sa akin lang magre-rely sobrang hirap. Hindi namin magagawa yun, honestly. You'll be able to do it in pockets, but then you're right. Unless nahawak namin lahat ng mga land na nagtatanim ng kamatis kunwari, magkakaroon ng oversupply, undersupply pa rin yan. Unless nahawak mo na. Kasi no. So that's what we've been learning, and hopefully we've been coordinating with the right people to be able to change that kind of local, very narrow mindset that makasarili. It's not the way that our country will progress. Hopefully we're able to change that.
Sure. Despite all the challenges, because we cannot see that we cannot move because of all the challenges. Despite all the challenges, would you say that you have in one of your goals to be top of the mind of the consumers?
That's always the goal in any consumer product. It's really a question on how to achieve it. So yes, we'd love to be top of mind, but at the core of it, we want to be able to do good, add value, then you become top of mind. Top of mind kasi as a goal is very, everyone's gonna say that. But for us, we see being top of mind as an outcome of the more tangible things that we can do to enable that.
I'm just trying to simplify because it's so complicated.
I would love to be top
Sir,
of mind.
you
Top of
mentioned
mind.
earlier na
Top
yung
of mind.
member ba yung 20,000?
Yes.
It is nationwide or Metro Manila?
So right now, coverage area natin from Bulacan,
Yeah.
it's from Bulacan to Quezon, and then meron tayong Cebu.
Nationwide.
Planning to open?
Wala pang Mindanao.
Wala pa.
Pero
Plan to
Punta na rin din sa Visayas
uh,
area.
meron ng Visayas. So,
You're targeting 500 or 50 days?
we want to get to 500,000 in the next 5 years.
Okay, so
Kasi ganun karami. I mean, gusto namin sana yung mga magandang mga sari-sari stores, ganun karami. Doble pa nga nun yung sari-sari stores. But we believe, look at they're the new age entrepreneurs. Pwede sila magtinda sa kanilang neighborhood ng mga gulay, ng mga iba't ibang items. We're giving them income, we're giving them another stream of livelihood. So, yeah, yun yung goal namin. And if we achieve that, top of mind, top of heart, diba? Mas maganda yun. You're giving more, you're giving the income to people who really want it and strive for it. So yeah, top of heart kami.
Sir, can you give us a
Brian from Philippine Star. Nakilala kayo.
can you give us an idea lang sir dun sa earning potential ng community leader?
Yeah, so yung earning potential niyan, you get about 8 to 10% income in terms of your gross sales. So halimbawa, maka 300,000 worth of sales ka, meron ka mga 25 to 30,000 income, which is more than the minimum wage, no? And yung sinasabi ng mga iba actually some na, nagre-resign na because meron siya financial freedom. Kaya si Miss Ashley kanina, na-meet namin siya para siyang nag-work sa Makati before, nagko-commute pa siya, nagre-rent pa siya sa apartment, Cavite siya talaga. Ngayon, nagtitinda siya dito, she earns as much as what she was getting in her desk job, pero para mas may freedom siya. So, the potential is there, pero kailangan lang madiskarte ka. At saka, it's not that easy kasi any business naman is not that easy, but we're here to help.
Sa zero puhunan siya. So, wala silang puhunan nila.
how do you support them? They don't have capital.
So when you sign up as a community leader, you get a small working capital, parang paikot, starts at 1.5, which is good enough to sell to 2 people, two families. And then when the products are delivered, you have around 2-3 days before you have to pay back. So nakabenta ka na, nakakollect ka na, nakuha mo na yung commission mo, nabayaran mo na yung size. That closes the loop. And then from there, if maganda yung performance, that 1.5 goes to 3,000, goes to 5,000.
Sir, is there any requirements how to join?
No strict requirements, okay, as long as meron kang lugar na pwedeng deliveran.
Okay.
But we do ask for information. Siyempre, for you to get the credit limit, kailangan meron kang konting KYC, ID, and all of that stuff.
Sorry.
Yes, Ms. Joyce.
With the increasing number of community leaders, do we have like a measure on, kasi possible na they will be competing with each other. So, do we have like a measure on how we can, yung basis kapag mag-approve
Yeah.
tayo with the community leaders?
So right now, nakikita po natin, kunyari meron isang area na yung community leader, mataas na po yung benta. Kino-close off na natin yung area na yun para sa kanya. So meron tayong mechanism na ganyan today. Pero sa totoo lang po, at the number of community leaders that we are, so may 20,000 na in the system, tapos active mga 5,000, marami pa pong space para para i-grow yung community leader base. And with your help po, kasi you vlog for us, diba? You get the word out dun sa mga gusto magnegosyo. Marami pa pong space para maging community leader po in our coverage area.
The ideal is one community leader every 3 roads. Kayang servicean yan ng isang community leader. Kasi kaya niyang lakarin. Kung kaya mo lakarin, within 1 kilometer kaya mo lakarin. Pwede na lang kung panay 25 kilo bigas ang binili ng mga CL mo. Ay, yung mga suki mo, may ito mahirap na lakarin. Yes, sir.
Sir, ilan na po yung stakeholders, more or less stakeholders na SariSuki?
Yes, in terms of the community leaders, what Sir
Yung
Bob
nag-sign up po na community leaders, at yung mga active, anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000, yun po yung makikita mo in a 1 to 2 months span. So, marami-rami na rin, pero gusto pa namin
Oo
dumami.
naman. Kasi may mga roopers.
Marami pa po talaga.
At saka yung may mga pasabog pa kayo.
Oo. So, para exciting lang po. I mean, tinan mo, excited sila. Kasi gusto namin, number one, mag-thank you sa kanila. And pangalawa, bigyan sila ng experience na hindi naman nila isi-spend sa sarili nila. So, ipa-Vikings mo sila, ipa-Boracay mo, ipa-Baguio mo. Para meron silang sense of belonging po. Yun yung gusto namin.
We do a number of things beyond the selling. So we have a SariSuki Academy, we teach them financial literacy, how to manage their finances. Kasi minsan, first time sila magnegosyo, yung iba, hindi pa alam, di ba? Alam na nila Facebook,
Papautang.
pero pwede rin pala sa Viber, magbenta, pwede rin pala sa Messenger, how to craft the post properly. We made the app easy enough that you click on the product, you can share the product directly. You don't have to share the link lang, makikita mo na kaagad yung mismong product. Baka mag-live selling rin kami. Ang sabi ko nga kay Sir Pam, gusto ko may webcam ako nakatutok sa gulay para alam mo talaga fresh na fresh siya. Kasi
Pakita ng
hindi
sa
siya-
customer
hindi siya
na,
stock
oh yan
picture,
o,
diba?
libre, fresh na fresh.
So stuff like that, no, to help the CLs, the community leaders not only know how to sell better, but also to enrich the other parts of their lives that impact the way they sell, the way they earn, the newfound financial independence that hopefully they get from the platform.
Sir, you mentioned kanina earlier sa problem sa deliveries na mayroon dyan minsan delayed. So, na-address na ba yun? And are you ready pa kuwari magkaroon ng influx ng mga CLs? So, ready ba to accommodate na yung pagiging
So yung before kasi nagka-problems because nag-shift kami so sobrang bilis ng growth. So we had like sabi ni Sir Brian, parang 3 moves kami in 9 months. We were planning just 1 move in like 2 months. In 1 year. Naayos na naman po yun. Right now yung order timeliness po natin nag-i-improve naman siya week on week. So far naman, I would say 96-97% on time yung mga deliveries namin per committed time. And kung dumami pa yan, kayang-kaya pa po yan. So, kaya sabi ni Sir Brian, yung warehouse po namin kaya po 5 times more than what we have today. Then we'll figure it out na lang po somewhere down the road pag dumami na naman.
So basically, logistics challenge.
No, I mean, we're not. Sometimes you sit back and you think about what we do. We're farmers, we're marketers, we're a logistics company,
Direct
we're a
selling.
tech company. Parang it's like 10 different companies in one company. Kaya medyo
Oo nga, no?
Overwhelmed.
nakaka-stress, But, I think technological advances now have been doing this for the last 12 years. Starting with Zalora. No? And the tools that are available to startups today is very different from the tools that were available to us before. The speed of integration to mga picks and shovels tools are more abundant. Imagine mo, when we started Zalora, it's all web-based. Ngayon, the first app was already mobile-based. We think mobile first. So it's really fun to see how it's evolved. But it's also still very hard to manage.
May falling class yung Kacheska.
Hindi. Tatanungin ko lang sir, kung kailan nag-start ba si SariSuki? And ano nini-expect nyo after 5 years for SariSuki?
April 2021 siya nag-start. Honestly, when we started it, we weren't expecting much. After the first few months, then we saw the traction. Our expectations started to go through the roof. We're way below where we should be right now, but we've seen what happened in the last year in the funding space, in the market for startups also. It's been a difficult time. What we're thankful for is we started during the pandemic, but the business continued growing even after the pandemic. A lot of the pandemic startups have experienced difficulty when the markets opened up. But fortunately for SariSuki, because of the incredible team that we have and the relationships that we built during the pandemic, we were still able to continue that growth trajectory.
Diba, as far as funding is
Sorry. Sa logistics side, in-house po ba yung
In-house. In-house managed, but we rent the vehicles. Parang grab style.
maiwasan yung mga delays?
Hopefully.
You mentioned that you're having difficulty in funding, but statistics show that the Philippines is getting the biggest chunk in funding from business in the ASEAN region.
2021,
2021.
not 2020. Umina.
I mean, ito.
Curriculum sila from financial management, online marketing,
With certificate now.
with certificate. Yung last graduation namin, ginawa namin 3 weeks ago, batch of 20 sa RACS.
Okay.
So ongoing naman siya.
Nice. May mga ano ba kayo kausap na potential mga partners or investors? Sino yung parang inaay nyo na ano?
Meron, we just closed our last round, our Series A last December. So we just received fresh capital. Pero lagi yung may naghahanap, so may kilala kayong intern. May desire sa, lalo na sa agri, be happy to talk. Okay?
Vessel pa kayo? Excited to journey with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope everyone had fun.
Yeah.
Everyone had a
And wish
picture
you all the
with
luck.
JC.